What's going on, y'all? And welcome to another edition of The Funniest Here with Dominique and friends. And like we do every day, every week, I bring my funny friends to you. I don't know what's going on in this society, but if you ain't funny, you can't rock with us. That's just the way we do it on here. So if you funny, I'm going to get you on here too. If you not, you going to get on here when you get funny. It's no biggie. It's not a big deal like that. So I'm going to introduce my guests. First, we had the hilarious Buddy Lewis.
What's up, D? You know what?
Yes.
I feel good. I got off a plane and came straight over here.
I'm thankful.
And drove through Koreatown traffic just to be up in here.
And I'm thankful. I appreciate it. And my other guest, Evan Lionel. Y'all give it up
What
for
up, y'all? Can we talk about what's real today, Dominique? You got me in my old neighborhood. I used to live 3 blocks from here.
Right here,
back in the
around.
90s.
Okay, so
You and me both.
You lived over here, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
8th and Berindo. I saw the riots go down.
I was on Gramercy.
Gramercy, okay. So y'all introduce yourself to the people. Tell them how they know y'all. Just brief them a little bit. Because once you start talking and you tell them who you are, they know who you are.
Who's first? Me or you, Evan?
ahead,
Whichever
buddy.
one.
Okay. Well, I'm Buddy Lewis. You know what, man? I tell you what I am. I am white. I'm not white famous yet. I'm black famous. Mm-hmm. So you know that means that there are a lot of black folks that know me. When I go to black towns, I always get, that dude,
Right,
that's the dude. But white folks walk past me and ask, should I know you? When black people ask me for an autograph or a picture or something. So but I've done a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
A little bit of everything.
I was Uncle Charles in the House Party 4 movie. I did Black Dynamite. I'm 5-6 times on Def Jam, Comic View, all of that stuff.
Excellent writer.
I'm a writer. I just created a show called White Famous, which was on Showtime with me and Chris Spencer. We co-created that. And I was a writer for the entire run of Real Husbands of Hollywood. Yes, with Kevin Hart.
Tell them about that commercial hustle, too.
Thank you. Y'all can see me on my Genuvia commercial, which is still running.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to be honest, I don't really need the products. I'm just glad they hired me to promote it.
Right.
I don't know about that,
That's all that matters. Evan, what's going on? Let the people know who you are, Evan.
Hey, y'all, straight from the south side of Chicago, Evan Lionel, a.k.a. EL. Y'all know I always talk about what's real. Just some of the things I've done. You've seen me, Def Jam All-Star, Comic View All-Star, One Mic Stand with Kevin Hart, First Amendment with Martin Lawrence. You name it, films, television. A lot of people don't know I actually did a huge film with Oprah back in the day called There Are No Children Here. It was based on a true story in a book about troubled children. Also worked with Robert De Niro in a film. Worked with my first film was with Damon Wayans and Marlon in Mo Money.
Okay.
Was you in Mo Money, buddy?
No, man, but you know what? I do have one of those memorable, guess what, though? I did a movie with Beyonce.
What?
Yes, I'm in
Okay, well, I
Beyonce's
didn't know about that,
first
buddy.
movie.
Evan.
Yes, listen. One of my friends said I should lead with that. I did. She did. This is when she was with Latavia and the other girl.
Was that the Preacher movie?
Yeah,
With Cuba, right?
Beverly Hood. That was the name of this movie.
Beverly Hood.
Yes, and Beyonce was in it, and she had like 2 lines, and so, but nonetheless, I did a movie with Beyonce.
That's all that matters.
Get to kiss her, though.
The lines don't matter. It matters. Beyonce.
I was playing an uncle. That would have been so creepy if I had done a movie with Beyonce and got to kiss her. That would have been ew.
Yeah, got to kiss Halle.
Matter of fact, I was playing her grandfather, so of course I didn't get
in
to
the
see
movie.
Yeah, of course
I would have kissed her anyway.
Ooh, with your dude, would have been some wormy shit. She would have been like, oh.
Yeah, her father was, her father's my frat brother. So, he came, so I couldn't.
You know what? Quick question on that.
Yes.
What frat you in? What frat are you in, buddy?
I'm a Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do they say, I heard them saying you get worms if you kiss an old man. Where does that come from, Dominique?
I don't know. I've been hearing this shit. It's a whole bunch of sayings and shit that don't make sense had back in the day.
Exactly.
When you think about it don't make sense. It's raining cats and dogs. Where that come from?
Exactly.
You gonna get worms from an old man? It's you know what people feel about old people. They they be like, I ain't eat no food on no nursing home.
Ignorant ass stuff.
You know what? I ain't.
So I don't even really know where that really came from, though. I really don't know where that came from. I've been hearing it since I've been kid.
What, that you get worms for kissing an old man?
From being with an old man.
With him. It's almost like his sperm that just turned old, so it ain't even coming out like how it's supposed to.
It come out
wormy. You know what I'm saying?
Wormy. So my question is, what do you get from kissing an old lady?
Love.
Yeah, whatever that old lady smell is. I don't know.
Okay, now you know what? That's another thing I just found out from a friend of mine. He was like, the older y'all get, y'all got this old lady smell. I was like, man, what are you referring to? Yeah. He was like, I've been dealing with this lady, right, in her 60s, right? So, the older you get, 60 ain't that old no more.
Right.
But, at his age now, it appears to be much older, right? So, he's like, and he was like, she got this smell. And I was like, what the fuck you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I can't describe it. It's an old lady smell. It just smell old.
I tell you what it is.
Is it?
It's old basement and mothballs.
Oh, that's
old basement.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that's
you go to your grandmama basement. It smells like an old basement.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? In Chicago. Dominique, you from DC. You know how it get. You know how
like
that old.
So y'all trying to tell me I'm gonna smell like old basement when I'm old? Is that that's what's happening?
Don't have. All I can suggest is don't have a basement.
That might be the women y'all dealing with smell like old basement. She ain't washing how she used to.
I ain't dealt with one that old.
I ain't dealt with me neither.
Old basement.
Me, it smell like old basement and mothballs. I haven't dealt with that yet.
That is hilarious.
I mess with an old honey if she right though. You know what I'm saying? I mess with a 69-year-old if she cold. Look at Jada's mom. Jada's mom cold.
Hey, listen. There's some sexy 60-year-old women out here.
70, 80, the whole nine. We carry it our whole life. Cicely Tyson, shit.
Yeah.
We go to the casket drop. Don't do us like that.
Yeah, but I ain't dating Miss Jane Pittman though.
Sapphire. Why you ain't gonna date Sapphire? Then Sapphire took me out. Sapphire. Why you ain't gonna date Sapphire?
I ain't sitting by the vanilla oak tree and eating her vanilla ice cream. I ain't doing it.
Hey.
You can't do it ever.
Hey, let me tell you, Vanessa Bell Calloway is one of the sexiest 60-year-old women.
Yeah, so don't do us like that. And I don't care how old we get, we ain't stinking like that. Don't do us like that.
And she can do splits and all kind of stuff. I got the video to prove it.
Oh yeah, I saw the video for the birthday party, 60th birthday party. So Dominique, can you do splits and stuff?
I can. I did that. Look, that's when you don't have no answer. That's when you don't have no answer. When somebody put you on the spot, I'm walking every day.
Hey, you tell him I do banana splits. We'll go eat some ice cream.
I do banana splits.
Don't let him fuck with you. Hey, Dominique, don't let him mess with you, baby. We can go eat some ice cream.
With me.
Okay, we don't need no splits. All we need is some ice cream and a cookie.
Banana splits.
I just need.
That's hilarious.
That's where the old lady smell come from. It's yogurt.
But men be stinking too when they old. You always walk past an old pissy old man.
Oh no!
Y'all can't pee in the toilet no more to save y'all. Save y'all life. I was trying to spare y'all. Y'all be walking around pissy. You be like Papa pissy ass sharp as hell, but he pissy as he wanna be. Yeah. Papa pissy ass and Papa smell like he be bathing twice a week when his energy up.
Take a Viagra and then go take a shower. That's what it's time to take a shower. That's freaking hysterical.
Oh, wow.
Steve Brown said hi, y'all.
What up,
Hi to
Steve?
everybody
What up,
that's
Steve?
following. What's up,
Steve?
y'all?
Long time.
Oh my
see
gosh,
Steve.
man. We got a couple of people on here. John Christopher.
It's all, I say this every week, and I just be rushing out the house. I leave my readers, so I can't see everybody.
That's
Yeah,
all
it's
right.
hard to see everybody's name. To all the folks out there, tune in. It's hard to see all y'all.
Thank y'all, though. We appreciate it. That's
the
Buddy.
love.
Y'all see
Yes,
Buddy? Where's
yeah.
Evan? Evan, where
Right
you at,
here.
Evan? They go Evan over there. We in here
y'all?
kicking it. All right, so y'all, let's jump into this thing.
Let's do it.
We gonna start with Mr. Cosby.
Oh, tough one. Tough one.
Cosby. Well, can I say this
Yes.
before we get started?
Let me tell the people this, just in
go
case
ahead.
you happen to have been under a rock. Bill Cosby was sentenced to 3 to 10 years. The judge also, he's 81 years old, and he's going to appeal his case. But the judge also did not let him have bail to appeal his case. So while he's
Revoked his
appealing,
bail.
he revoked his bail, so he has to stay in jail.
Right.
Which I think, they could. He's not a flight risk.
Right.
He's old. He can't run. If he start running, he ain't gonna make it. And he can't see. He's in failing
And he
health.
gonna
But
run into something.
absolutely,
'cause he's blind.
Because he's blind. So but okay, go ahead, Evan. I just
But
want in case somebody hadn't heard
I
that.
think that a lot of people are dismissing the fact or forgetting the fact that Bill Cosby was all of our heroes.
Right.
Hands down. Was all of our heroes, hands down. So what I did was I didn't listen to everybody else. I researched the case myself. I went in and researched it because I've been a person who was falsely accused of domestic violence. And there's a lot of that going on around town. A lot of that going on. But my problem is, and this is to Bill, why did you do that? Why did you take that lady, man, whatever that was that he gave the pills to? He admitted to giving this man-looking lady 3 pills. He admitted to it, and I researched it, and it's Bill Cosby on a recording, his voice saying, yeah, don't worry about the pills. Bill, what the fuck?
Yipes. Look at Fred. I'm going to just say this right now. He's not the first. I'm just sad that
To give
he
pills?
is the face. No, I'm just sad that he's the face of the convicted Me Too movement. I'm sad. I'm saddened by that.
that
listen,
saddens me too.
and I have no. I don't want this to be like, I'm dismissing the fact that there were victims that were
Not at all.
Not at all. I don't
Not
want to
at all.
dismiss any of the women that laid claim that Bill Cosby had drugged them or something. I don't want to dismiss that as something outright. What I'm saying is simply that I'm sad that he is the face of the convicted Me Too felons per se, because there are a lot of them out there.
Yes.
There's Weinstein. Now they're claiming their accusations against Les Moonves. There's other comics.
A long list. of
Louis C.K., et cetera, et
Yeah.
cera. There are a lot of people out here.
The list goes on.
The list
Kevin
goes on.
Spacey.
It's a
Kevin
Kevin
Spacey.
Spacey. It's a gaping hole. Let's say
Yes,
that.
and that's basically what they were trying to do, is touch that
did you
gaping
have to
hole.
say-
Anyway, but
Gaping hole. Did she have to say
But that's
gaping
what
hole?
it is.
That's
though.
what happened after the pills were taken.
Right, but it
It was
was
a
that's what they was
gaping
trying to get
hole.
up
It
in,
is
the
a
gaping
gaping
hole.
hole.
Listen, I'm just saying that, but you make a point. There is a large contingency of male men. There are a lot of men that have created this
Absolutely.
situation for themselves by
Can y'all
drugging
hear me?
women.
Where's Alex?
Yeah, I mean, and I
can
mean,
hear me,
even
buddy?
Darren Sharper went to prison.
Can
know
you
what
hear
I'm
me,
saying?
buddy?
Yes, I can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay.
For
Darren Sharper, the football player, went to prison for the same
He
thing.
absolutely
and they
did.
got him for doing it in different states. Like he was like the Soul Train with it. I'm doing it all over the world. He was
giving women pills.
Man, dropping pills. And I didn't get. And of all the people I didn't get, I was like, Darren Sharper was one of the. I mean, he was one of the. I mean, I'm a man, and I'm gonna go. Hey, that was a good looking dude.
Oh, so
you know
he
what I mean?
handsome dude.
Yeah, he was a handsome dude. He didn't have to and he had a Super Bowl ring. I have a friend that has a Hall of Fame ring. Yeah, and I've seen women be just amazed by the ring. You get what I'm saying there? And he's like, yeah, go away. You know, I'm married. I ain't got time for this. But the ring brings them over. You get what I'm saying? There's no. And he jokes, he goes, see, that's the power of the ring. And I joke around because I'm like, let me use it. I'm single.
Well, it ain't the ring, it's the pills that there's a problem with.
Man.
And what a lot of people don't understand about the whole Bill Cosby story, because I keep seeing everybody say, free Bill Cosby, free Bill Cosby. I mean, we all love Bill Cosby.
Don't we all?
But if it was your daughter, you a dad like I am, buddy.
I'm a dad.
We got daughters. If our daughters came and told us at 23, 25, a 60, almost 17-year-old man gave them pills and they woke up and their pants were unbuttoned and then they went to the police. That's what that lady did right after it happened. That lady did go to the police. A lot of people saying it's years later. No. That lady went to the police, immediately went to her parents. Right. She told them what Bill Cosby had done and she didn't think anyone would believe her.
Right. And here's the next thing, man. You know what? I say this is the chickens kind of coming home to roost in the sense that there's going to be a reckoning for a lot of people. And you said to me, buddy, you have daughters. I feel sorry for some of these rappers that have daughters.
But are they caught up in the Me Too thing?
Yeah, listen.
Is it proven? Let me say, you might
an
have
accusation is an accusation.
Okay.
I'm not saying that nothing's proven, but what I'm saying is, Evan made the point that that both of us have daughters.
Yes, we do.
And you want a man to respect your daughter, you know, and respect like a niece or you know, an aunt or whatever. You want them to have respect for it. And I'm just saying that some of that is going to come home to roost with a lot of these rappers. Can you imagine Luke with a daughter?
Luke,
you know,
but he might.
Luther Campbell, come on. I mean, he was the king of pop that coochie. But I'm saying, so like, you know, he's gonna have to deal with the fact that the music that he put out and some of is contributing to this mentality that women can be disrespected. They're good for nothing but putting credit cards in their ass and champagne down their backs. You know that we're part of that culture is.
But are they one and the same, buddy? Like what he's doing are they really one and the same? Like with the whole Me Too thing, is that like the same thing? Because the Me Too thing appears to me to be women who didn't want to be a part of the advances and the things that happened to them. Now with Luke, these were willing participants.
I'm not trying to equate sexual abuse to being a video vixen. Please don't think that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the climate and the culture of the disrespect that is being developed, I think, for women. Some of that started in that's not something that's a phenomenon that started yesterday. That's been years and years of disrespect. Especially I think women in video and in music and in rap, some of that culture has been developed and now it's coming home to roost. You've seen the dudes that have been growing up on bitches and hoes, and you know there's a song called, you know, bitches ain't nothing but hoes and tricks.
It's a song,
but you know what? I think
bitch better go get my money.
It's a song.
It's a song, but buddy, I think Bill Cosby. Actually, that could be quite confusing to him because Bill Cosby is like, you bitches want pills and y'all talking about mollies and all this. That's all I did is what y'all talking about.
So, and that's what I'm saying, that the culture
could be confusing to an old dude like that. So,
especially when he was dropping them roofies. He was dropping.
Actually, the Quaaludes. He had the Quaaludes.
Yeah, listen, you know when the name is changed. That's because Bill Cosby was dropping Quaaludes.
Yeah.
And the thing I don't get with Bill Cosby is like, I don't understand. Is it an illness? Like everybody else get the illness charge. So is he really sick for what he did? I mean, it was like they were in his room. If you go to the man's room, you know he Bill Cosby. You at least 9 times out of 10 they gonna be down if they not send them on their way. But most of the time, it don't seem like he would have had a problem doing what he wanted to do.
Right.
Well, let me
So
take
is it
that
like
real
really?
quick.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I
Is
researched
it an illness? Like
okay,
is
I
it?
would
Or
say
just
it's
some
an
freaky
illness,
shit?
number
Like,
one.
what the
But
fuck
let me
is it?
break it down. The lady that got a lot of people think a lot of people got Bill convicted. It was
No,
not
it was
based on
one
that. It was
lady.
one lady.
Right.
And
That
the reason,
reported what happened to
right.
her.
The reason that he got convicted is because the evidence was beyond a reasonable doubt. Clearly,
Right.
because Bill Cosby confessed to giving this woman pills. Number one, he's on tape talking about the pills. Number two, he invited her to his home, Dominique. It wasn't at no hotel or nothing. This was a woman he was supposed to be mentoring because she was an athlete. She was a pro athlete from overseas. She had been playing pro basketball overseas. And
How damn comedian gonna mentor her? How he gonna mentor her?
no, because he was a professor at Temple
yeah, I
University
forgot
and on
that
the
part.
board, and she
That's
was
right.
teaching at Temple
Okay,
University
I
at
forgot
the time.
he was a
She was a
professor.
coach.
So she was a coach. So
Okay.
he invited her over for dinner to the house. She went to the dinner the first time and nothing happened. They just had dinner and talked. Then she went back a second time, still in the mentoring process and talking about different schools, and he made a pass at her. She said, "Is this 60-plus-year-old man making a pass at me?" And I'm 25, 26, right? She said, "I'm not interested, Mr. Cosby." And then it was back to the mentoring thing. Then she back at the house at dinner again. Mr. Cosby offers her 3 pills, calls them his friend. These are my friends when I'm over energized and have anxiety. Take these, they'll help you relax. Well, she said, "Mr. Cosby, I'm now seeing 2 of you and my legs are feeling really weak and I feel nauseous." He said, "Well, let me help you to the couch." She said when he helped her to the couch, she laid down, and then she said she began to fall in and out of consciousness. And during the process of that, she could see Mr. Cosby raping her, but she couldn't move her arms and legs and her body. And then other women came forward as witnesses and testified to similar things happening to them. And we talking about Beverly Johnson. We're talking about affluent women, not
but
hood
with their
rats.
cases, the statute of limitation had run out.
Right,
Okay.
had run out. But we're talking about women who are affluent. We ain't talking, because in our industry, and buddy, you know this, Dominique, you know this, in our industry, we have those women that will show up after shows and we're really a target for them. You know what I'm saying? They like, what
do
y'all
you
doing
mean you
after
a
this?
target?
What y'all doing after this? Y'all
That
going
don't
to the
make you
hotel?
a target.
Yeah, they coming to fuck.
Okay, but that don't make you a target.
We a target to fuck.
Okay.
We can't be real. We can't talk
No,
about
but
what's
we
real.
being real, but I don't feel like you a target. They like what you doing.
No,
we
here's what-
trying
well,
to
let
kick
me
it. You ain't no
Dominique.
damn target.
But let me explain the target.
I
thing
mean,
real
I
quick.
know what you're saying because I know the whole.
But let me go in.
I know how the whole thing works,
Kevin
but
Hart was a target.
He was. Kev was a target. But here's how it works. They come like equals. Like, we grown and we gonna come back to the hotel. We gonna party, right? Then what happens is, if they are a woman that say with working with feelings, then she's gonna be like, "You can't just throw me away like this. How about I tell people you did X, Y, and Z?" And that's where the lies come in. And then they look for a check.
so once
I'm looking for
so
money.
what you saying is you targeted it, and then if you don't want this particular woman, then she starts saying, "Oh, he ain't want me, but you did rape me or whatever."
No, but not you did rape me. Now I'm gonna accuse you of this stuff unless you pay me.
That is
And a lot of people go through that.
I'm sure that happens on occasion too. But I'm going to say that there is also the fact that some of these dudes do creepy shit. Like right now,
Right. And the majority of them ain't no damn target either.
Right.
If you ain't got shit for nobody to get, I give you Kevin the target, but a man
not
work
Evan.
at Target
Not
ain't no fucking target.
a nigga working at Target ain't no target.
Hell no. Talking about this Target shit. If you ain't got nothing, you ain't no target.
You can't be
Listen,
like, I'm a target.
But listen, and now we have a judge that's about to be on the Supreme Court that he wasn't no target. You know,
He
We're
a-
talking about Kavanaugh.
Brett Kavanaugh. His hearings are on right now.
Right
as
now,
you
and he
speak.
ain't no target. Listen, somebody asked me, do you think he did it? Listen, is he a man? Then yes, he did it.
And the thing, and a man
That's
ain't.
hard. That's hard.
But the thing.
A 17. Listen. Hold on, Dominique. You know what? Evan, we ain't gonna keep it real. Listen,
Come on, buddy. Come on with it.
I'm gonna be
He
honest.
ain't no
talk about
damn
what's real.
target.
Talk
Let's
about what's
talk
real.
about.
And I
what's
know
real.
he wasn't
Listen,
good looking because he don't look like hardly nothing now.
hysterical. I'm gonna say this. Any dude that was any dude, there isn't a dude in the world unless you were an introvert or you were very gay when you were in high school. And I'm saying that because you wouldn't have no problem with the women if you were gay because they were your friends. So you're not going to hurt your friends. But there isn't a dude. There isn't a dude that does not have an instant where they did something. I'll say it,
You talking about in our lives?
in our lives, that when you were 17, 18 years old, you didn't do some sexually harassing shit.
Absolutely.
Impossible.
Compromising.
And I
compromise.
Jeff
Listen,
Brown just-
I'm gonna be
Jeff.
honest with you.
I want you to come on.
If I went back to the Greek picnics in Philly. And I'm being honest, and there was some. I mean, I did this. I drove down the street, had my hand out the window, and was touching girls' asses as we drove by.
But you even talk about high
it was
school.
what-
And we're gonna prosecute you for that, buddy.
Listen,
What year was it?
I'm not running for senator. I'm not running for senator.
And Buddy and Evan.
It happened. And I'm saying.
And most women been sexually harassed and we ain't even think nothing of it. You walking down the
Exactly.
hallway in high school and boy run by just hit you on the ass.
We used to
And
call
you-
it copping a field.
Yeah, and you go right
Come
to
on.
class. So
Listen,
Yes.
I had a dude, listen, watch this. I'm going to tell you, this is
Okay.
8th grade.
You confessing,
I'm
buddy?
confessing.
All right, go on.
get it off your chest.
I'm not getting it off my chest, but I'm telling
Been
you, don't
troubling
tell
you
me
for years.
Don't tell me that dudes don't be doing this shit.
Dudes
And-
do. Thank you,
and,
buddy.
you know,
I appreciate that. They do some
They
bullshit.
do some bullshit when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Listen, when I was in the 8th grade, me and my boy B, I'm not gonna give him up because he's probably a preacher now. Listen,
Let me advise you before you continue. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
I'm there.
Okay.
I'm there. I'm gonna be
But like
honest.
Buddy said, he ain't running for
I
public
ain't running
office.
for public
This shit don't
office,
matter.
and I'm a professional comedian.
And he ain't saying he raped nobody.
I
He
didn't
just
rape
did
nobody.
cop some fields and shit. But that shit is inappropriate, though. It is
I'm
inappropriate.
telling you,
Let 'em know.
I'm accepting responsibility and saying, like, I did some inappropriate shit when I was
Right.
a kid.
Right.
I did that shit. Listen, we used to take mirrors, man. We put mirrors on our shoes so we could put mirrors on our shoes and then walk up to a girl and go, ooh, pink.
Y'all
You got
looking
on
at
pink
their
elephants.
panties?
Because we were looking at our panties.
Wow,
We put
buddy.
mirrors
Y'all
on our
were
shoes.
creepy.
Creepy
Y'all
as
was
fuck.
creepy.
Yeah,
I wasn't
y'all
creepy like
goddamn
that.
was real close to sexual harassment.
Looking up them
That
steps
was
when
Dominique.
I was at a
That's sexual harassment, I think,
when you
Evan.
went up them steps,
Right.
and we looked up, and
Well, everybody wanted to see girls'
Girls'
panties in
panties.
school.
Thank
And if
you.
you were heterosexual, come
like
on,
I
who
said,
didn't?
I was nasty.
So,
I was a nasty.
how do you, buddy?
Listen,
how do you
and
get
I had
from-
sisters and a mother that told me, "Look, you got to respect your sister." Don't now. Now.
How do you get from that to giving them pills and having them unconscious and having
don't.
sex with them?
You don't.
He
But
had
what
some
I'm
kind of
saying is-
sickness or something.
That's an
going on
illness.
with him.
There is
But you
no-
know, when it
there's
comes to
no
black
re-
men, they don't say.
Listen.
Y'all
Oh, we
have
don't go to
mental-
the doctor.
Y'all don't have mental illness, is what I'm
Listen.
saying. You never get that charge.
I'm
Yeah.
just
They
gonna
never.
say-
They
They
never
letting
say
us
it's
off like that.
They not letting you off like
right.
that. No.
And here's
Yeah.
the thing I'm saying, E. I'm saying there was some creepy shit that you did in your youth. Now, I'm not saying that makes the leap to adulthood where you start raping chicks or a chick says no.
Yeah,
and you
that
like,
ain't right.
No,
It's going
yes,
down.
It's going down. You know, where you had that strong arm love.
Right. Strong.
That's some
Strong
bullshit.
That's
arm
some
love.
bullshit. That's some bullshit. And I'm saying I know the difference now, but as a youth, that's why I'm troubled by this confirmation hearing that's going on today. With
Brett Kavanaugh.
With Brett Kavanaugh, because listen, he was an affluent dude.
Yeah.
So
And
you
what I
know
mean-
they was on some bullshit.
Thank you. And they talking about country clubs. He talking about he was drunk as a 17-year-old. I didn't drink.
I wasn't drinking at 17.
I wasn't drinking at
either.
17.
I was drinking
And
at
not
13.
pissy drunk.
I was pissy drunk at 13.
And so now
Dang.
that makes my
12
point.
I started drinking.
That's my point.
12
Do
I
you
started.
still drink?
Of course.
But do you get drunk?
And that makes my
Sometimes.
point.
Okay.
I'm not powerless to that sort of
Oh,
situation.
okay.
That has to be someone's
Listen.
weakness. you
Okay,
know?
okay.
And listen, now look, I'm telling you, as a kid, I did dumb ass shit.
Right. So are you excusing Brett Kavanaugh is what you saying, buddy?
I'm saying he did it.
Oh, you saying he did it, he should admit that he did.
And don't try to tell
And say
that-
he was a kid.
Say, look, you know what?
And
He would've been better off.
And he got into a
Hey,
profession
yes.
where they want your background to be squeaky
Be clean.
Right.
They don't want you to have any flaws
Thank you.
when you a public figure.
But
and you can sit there. You can sit there 1 second. You can sit there and watch him at them hearings and see that he guilty. That's why he keep crying and
Absolutely.
shit. And that's why he getting all mad, asking them had they been drinking. This shit ain't about me.
But let me remind you that if he does admit it, buddy, and this is for you to know
He's
too.
not gonna admit it.
No, listen.
He
if
never
does,
will admit
say
it.
he
That
did.
ain't gonna happen,
Say he
Evan.
did. I'm saying if he did, he's going to jail because there's no statute of limitation on rape
Exactly.
in that state.
One of the
Exactly.
senators just asked him right before we got here. The senator said to him, "Okay, if you say you innocent and you did not do it, then turn around
Right.
and
that
tell."
was cold.
Yeah, it was cold blooded.
Tell him you want an investigation,
Tell him
an
you want an
FBI
FBI
investigation
investigation.
right
You don't
now
want it.
if
He
you're
don't want
innocent.
it.
Yes.
If you innocent, he don't want it.
He
And
don't
that
want
right
that.
there
'Cause he'll go to
proves
jail.
He'll go to jail, and it proves he was lying. You lying.
And the next thing
the
is,
sad part about it to me is he's still gonna get confirmed. That's the saddest.
He's going to
part
get
about it.
confirmed just like Trump is president and nobody's charged
Exactly.
any of those
Yeah.
guys
exactly.
with anything.
Listen.
They allow that. The president grab pussies and all kind of stuff. They
He
beat
says
women and
that's what he
everything.
does and they don't do
Exactly.
nothing.
And that's where I'm saying that just goes to my point about the affluent and the privilege that think that you're the entitlement that comes with not just the fact that he thinks he should be on the Supreme Court, but the entitlement and the ability to think that I should be able to force myself on a woman. That's an entitlement thing.
That's an entitlement thing. And another thing you can tell he guilty is because when he was giving his statement, he was so calm and he was pleasant. As soon as they start asking him questions, I said, now there go the motherfucker Trump like right there.
Right, and
Yeah.
listen,
He got just as
he got
nasty
belligerent
and
and nasty
belligerent.
and-
Yes.
Do you know what I saw it as? Because I
Yep.
deal with this regularly at court. Unfortunately,
White
it
folk, you
is
in
it
court.
is white privilege. It's white privilege. I deal with this regularly at court. The white privilege tells this white man that he can literally be wrong and not have to pay the price or the punishment for being wrong because he's an affluent white man. That's what his anger is. His anger is, how dare you? They
That's
think
his
they're
anger.
above
That's
the
his
law.
anger. That's
They
his
think
anger.
they're above the law.
Most of the time they are.
Hey, listen.
Shit, I ain't never
Well-
seen them beneath it. Not the affluent ones. I mean, if you poor, but the affluent ones, shit, they above it from what I can see.
I deal with this on a regular basis in court because I was falsely accused of domestic violence. The difference in me and Brett and Bill Cosby is that I have invited everybody over and over again to investigate my case. My case is a public case. I haven't seen my kids in almost 5 years.
Wow.
And it's an abusive process based on restraining orders. And it's
Wow.
not just me, it's hundreds of thousands of
I
men
believe
all over the country being kept from their children, and it's not even substantiated.
Wow.
Like in my case, it is just her saying it. No evidence of anything, no nothing. I didn't do
No
anything
police reports,
wrong.
anything.
No, the police said we see no wrongdoing.
Wow.
But the court, because the game is to put a restraining order in place in order to get control over the property and get custody of the kids to make you pay top tier child support, a restraining order needs to be in place. And that's the game. And every time I fight it and I speak up in court passionately, like the senators were speaking when they were talking to Brett, and like Brett was speaking passionately, I get accused of violence in court when I speak up.
Wow.
And that's sad.
That's
because,
unfortunate.
because the game has changed a little bit in the fact that
I'm praying for
right
your
now,
situation.
Me too, Ab. But and here's the thing, man. Now, all a woman has to do in the state of California, and it's sad, is that a woman can say that all you've done is disturb her mental peace, and that can be used as a leverage is the impetus for issuing a restraining order. So that means if you called and you said, "I'm really angry. If you don't come get your stuff," she can go, "I'm scared because I think he's gonna hurt me." And so he can go in and file a restraining order.
And so then people say, well, what is a restraining order? It's just a piece of paper. So this is what I didn't know. All right, my ex-wife, I asked her, I'm going to tell you how simple it works and how powerful it is. My ex-wife, I told her I want a divorce. I said, I'm divorcing you. I'm done with this. This is over, right? The next day, I woke up with police in my house, guns drawn, 8 of them threatening to shoot and kill me. I woke up like this. Not knowing why they were there, none of that stuff. Commands, get on the floor, lay on, and then they put my knees and my wrists to the fucking ankles and all that shit. I didn't know why they were there. Once the smoke cleared away, they said I was accused of domestic violence. I said, how can you arrest somebody on full felony alert on an accusation? I said, I read the report. The report said you saw no evidence of any wrongdoing. They said just based on a woman's word, we have to act on it, because if she's telling the truth and something happens to her and we don't go arrest him, then we're liable.
Right.
And then they looked me in my eyes and they said, thank OJ for this. That's what the police said to me.
Wow, yeah, and it's true. There were several. And I've been out here since 1989, and there have been several cases in the mid 90s where a woman would complain that her husband threatened to kill her, or that he has guns in the house, and and they would come back and the woman would complain and go to the police, and they had no evidence, nor did they have any. There was no crime committed at the time. So just the threat of I'm gonna get you, or I'm gonna kill you, wasn't enough to have a person arrested.
Right.
And so they needed a law in place so that if someone complained that they thought they were in danger, that they could go and arrest a person. Because before I would say before, and this is actually
It was before OJ.
This is after OJ, and this is after, and really it started with the Homeland Security Act. They needed a way to also this is also part of the Homeland Security Act that Bush passed, was that once a complaint is made, you can go in and say, we can hold you, or we can put because they were doing it supposedly for terrorism as well. So that they have something to arrest people and hold them with. Because there wasn't anything. If there because
to justify
what
they're doing.
To justify they needed a law in the books, and a law in the books creates a situation for the police and the judicial system to go, we arrested him in good faith because basically this was the accusation and this is what happened, and so there has to be a law in place, and that's what and a TRO or a temporary restraining order is how you arrive at that.
Well, that's how it starts
out. It's unfortunate, and it needs to be cleared up, because I do believe if a man is guilty, he needs to be held accountable for it.
Right.
Absolutely, but I don't think that if you haven't done anything, you shouldn't be treated as if if you're guilty.
Here's the problem with that, Dominique. They don't base it on if a man is guilty or not. That's a fallacy. They're basing it on, can you prove you're innocent?
Right.
They're like, prove that you're innocent.
But don't they have to prove that you did it?
And not in family court. This is the game of the restraining order. In criminal court, it is beyond a reasonable doubt. In family court, it's preponderance of the evidence, meaning the judge can say, even though the evidence shows that Buddy is innocent, I believe her.
Exactly.
Oh,
I believe her. Right? And a lot of that's based on money.
Herein
You
lies
feel
the
what I'm
fact that some men just say, fuck it, I gotta move on.
A lot of them do.
A lot of
them do. And here's the problem with the restraining order that I didn't know. Okay, so it's a piece of paper. So I'm in the lockup. They holding me for nothing, not even telling me why they holding me, right? Because they haven't come up with any reason. They didn't read me my rights or anything. Kept me 24 hours. No, they didn't give me the Miranda. They didn't Mirandarize me or anything. You can check the record. My record is public. Everybody check it. So I get out of jail, buddy. And I go, look, man, I'm going back to the house. You know, I'm done with her. It's over. They was like, you can't go back to your house. This my house, Dominique. My name on the deed. Beautiful house. $550,000 house in Chadsworth. I said, I'm going home. I need to take a shower because they took me out my house in my T-shirt and tried to take me out in my underwear, but they didn't let me put pants on. I'm going back to the house. I'm going to shower and then we going to straighten this. Evan, you can't go back to your house. What you talking about? You cannot go back to your house until this restraining order issue is completely lifted, right? So I said, what? They say you got 15 minutes to go get your personal belongings. Well, the whole fucking house is my personal belongings. It's my house.
Right.
You understand? Furniture in there, everything is mine, right? I married her. The stuff is, I spent $30,000 having the interior redone. Right. I couldn't go back to my house for 5 years because they knew the judge and I didn't know the game. Her attorney knew the judge. Yep. No, even though there was no evidence against me, no criminal case, the DA threw it out. There's no evidence against this man. City attorney threw it out. No evidence against this man. This man hasn't done anything wrong. If I show you the police report, it says no evidence found. Victim states X, Y, and Z, but
and
nothing
she
was
did
wrong.
all of this because you say you were leaving her?
Yes. And that's not unusual because spoiled, pretty women feel like if they can't have what they want, they'll destroy you before they let anybody else
So she's still
get
in the
it.
house?
No, she abandoned the house. I tried to go back and sell it, fix it up and sell it. She kept trashing it. Every time I fix it up, she would go in the interior, tear it up. So I called the police. The police came. She literally showed up at the house and said, he's showing up to kill me, right? So the police said, she said, I still live here. I said, contact your supervising officer. He came to the scene. I said, go in the house. You see it's abandoned. And she keeps tearing it up every time I clean it up to rent it out. So he said, I know what you're going through. I've gone through this. He came to the court and testified in my behalf that she comes to the police station. She flat out lies on this man. She tries to get our police officers to shoot this man. That's literally what he told the court. She tries to get the police officers to shoot this man, and she's falsely accusing this man. Do you know nothing happened to her? Women can falsely accuse us all day, and nothing will happen to y'all. But they will arrest us. I had to pay $5,000 bail, all based on flat out lies. I challenge anybody to pull my case and investigate it. And I have had to pay over and over again bail money for her lying on me. So when she couldn't win that way, because the appeal court reversed the restraining order and vacated it. I filed the appeal. They reversed it and vacated. They said there was no evidence against this man. I still haven't seen my children, and they're trying to put another restraining order against me, and they have falsely accused me of criminal cases. I've had to pay a lawyer and pay bail after I got arrested. Once they see I'm completely innocent, that money is still gone, and nobody has charged her with anything.
And here's the sad thing.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, very.
That's very unfortunate.
And also,
I'm sorry. I don't know why she acted like that. I don't know.
She told my mother she would destroy me. If your son leaves me, he'll never see his kids again. I'm going to take his house, his cars, everything he built. I'm going to take it from him. I'm going to destroy him.
And see, this is the issue too. Also, is sadly. When you have a restraining order, and this is the one thing that a lot of when you're falsely accused, and please do not mistake that I'm saying that there aren't men that should have restraining orders put on them because they've threatened women. What I'm saying is when you've been falsely accused, there's another issue that comes up that you don't realize it. If you apply for a job, if you get stopped by the police, that record comes up. So if there's a restraining order against you, the police in their mind immediately think you're dangerous. So,
Immediately. And it
So-
can get you
and-
killed.
and
They
it get
already
you killed.
looking to kill black men.
Right.
So
It can get you shot. And so
that was her
it's-
objective.
Right. And it's sadly that's the way the system works. And we have to be very, very careful. And this is why I was saying
about being vindictive. If he
about being
did something
right.
to you, that's one thing. If he ain't done nothing to you, don't take that man through that. Let him go head on with his life and do his thing, because you wouldn't want nobody to do that. Now, if he did it, that's another thing.
That's another
but
thing.
if it's false, don't do that.
And that's why you got to be careful when you're laying.
You can't just get mad and do no shit like
laying
that.
false witness.
But I think that women need to be held accountable. That's the
true.
problem in this country. Women are not being held accountable. I believe if they had a penalty, all right, women, if you lie, it's going to be 15 years in jail. If you caught perjuring yourself, automatic 15 years. I guarantee you it'll be way less cases in court.
But the thing of it is, it needs to change as it pertains to felony court. It needs to be run like criminal court. Family court, it needs to be run like criminal court.
It needs to be regulated.
It needs to be regulated. A judge shouldn't be to say, oh, I'm looking at you and your ass just lying. So it needs to change, but it has to change in that way. Because if it changes in that way, then it will be, you'll stand a better chance, in my opinion.
But even in criminal court, Dominique, remember the football player that was on his way to the pros the whole nine in college? The woman lied that he raped her. She got, I think, $1.2 million or $1 million from the university. Then she came back and said, I lied. He
so I can see what you're saying.
They did nothing to that woman.
It should be a penalty for lying.
And that woman kept that
and
money,
false
too.
allegations, it should definitely be a penalty for that.
And that's why that's the same thing I said, Evan, about there's not just sexual violence or domestic violence. There need to be penalties. There need to be penalties for just regular stuff. Like black people have been arrested and charged with stuff like standing in Starbucks. You get arrested for being in Starbucks. So I think there's a problem with penalty, and I think there should be a consequences. Like for example, when scary white folks call the police on black people, there should be a consequence
for barbecue.
Yeah, for barbecue, like stuff like that.
Automatic 15 years in jail.
No, man, forget that. Let's go old school.
What?
I think we should have public slappings.
Straight up
Everybody
ass
gets to
whooping.
slap it.
Everybody gets to walk
You lie on me, I just get to slap the shit out of you.
In front of everybody. A slap is too easy, though, buddy.
But you don't want to.
What about public flogging?
No, you don't get to slap. You get to hire your slapper.
Oh, you get to hire your slapper. Who would your slapper be?
I would get the Rock to slap the shit out of everybody.
You would get the Rock.
Slap your ass through the wall.
I get the Legion of Boom.
So look, before we go, we running out of time here, but I do want to touch on this subject right here. I know we're having a good conversation.
Yes.
But I want to touch on the subject, and I think Buddy brought it up to me earlier. Comedy beef.
Ooh, it's a lot.
So if you've been under a rock, there has been a comedy thing,
couple
comedy beefs. One. This is not. I'm not necessarily saying this one is a comedy beef, but Katt Williams told Wanda Smith a new asshole. She's a morning radio host. She's also a comic in Atlanta V103. He told her a new asshole, and it was funny as shit. And her husband came back, and you can tell he won because the husband came back
was
and
all brutal and bitter.
All brutal and bitter and mad, and they say he pulled the gun on Katt and all that. That's what they say.
Who pulled the gun on Katt?
Wanda's husband.
Wow.
Really?
They say he pulled the gun on, they say he pulled the gun on her.
Chocolate Storm says, hey, by the way.
Hey, Chocolate Storm. He pulled the gun on him because of what he said to his wife. But I mean, this is comedy. I don't understand.
Yeah.
If you're going to pull a gun for your wife,
but Katt
really?
has done that to me.
What?
Katt can't talk about them. Katt has shown up and got into an argument with me. First, we start out bagging like we always do, buddy. We talk about each other.
He wasn't arguing with her, though?
Well, no, he wasn't. We was bagging. Like him and Wanda was bagging. Me and Katt was bagging at the club. All of a sudden, Katt outside with a gun and all his crew from Watts with a gun. Evan Lionel, we need to walk and talk. We need to walk and talk. I was like, Katt, I ain't walking nowhere with you. All y'all got guns. Get out of here, man. True story, real.
Oh my God! Listen, but that's not the first one because you know Monique had her comedy beef with a lot of people over the Netflix thing. There was
Michael Blackson and Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart and Mike Epps. There've been a few comedy beefs
What do
going
you
around.
think about the comedy beef thing?
Kev addressed it like with Katt, like in a great way. Kev said clearly, I got the platform that you had. I just actually did something with it. Right. You chose another route to be irresponsible and get high when I chose to lift everybody up. And so everybody complains about the opportunities that black people aren't being given. He said, I'm
you're
providing
not sure what Evan is
opportunities.
talking about in that interview with Katt Smith and with Katt Williams and Wanda Smith. Right. He brought up Kevin Hart. He brought up some issues with Tiffany Haddish. Mm-hmm. So Kevin addressed in Little Rail. Kevin addressed what Katt said on the Breakfast Club. He addressed that. So that's what Evan is talking about. Now, just in case you, I want you to be the follower.
And make no mistake about it, we love Katt. And we love Kevin. Katt is hands down one of the funniest that ever picked up a mic, hands down. But the bottom line is he was wrong in this interview. He said Tiffany been married to a white man for 15 years. Tiffany was never married to a white man. I met Tiffany's husband. He's a black man. He's trifling, but he's a black man. And she was married to him for 15 years. He was wrong when he said, when he talked about ticket sales. He's not outselling Kevin Hart. Not in no way, not now, not ever. Is he outselling Kevin Hart across the globe? Kevin Hart is the #1 selling comedian in the business. And what Kevin said was clear. He said, I got a platform and I used it to build careers and to help people. And he said, now black people are getting opportunities that Katt could have provided for them had he been more responsible with his platform. That's all that is.
And I think some of that is very, very true. And let me explain. I've been in. I had a beef. There was a comedy beef with Katt and Jamie back in the day. We were all on the
on Jamie Foxxhole. Foxxhole,
we were on the Foxxhole, and this is when one of the first comedy beefs was Katt and Steve Harvey. There was a situation where Katt had joined on to a show with Steve Harvey in Detroit. It was a New Year's show, and I told Katt this, and this is, we thought literally that this was a promotional thing for the show. Because Jamie came in and was like, "Yo, man, we gonna talk to Steve on the radio, and you know it's going down with Katt. So we gonna be on Steve's side, and we hope Katt will call in and blah blah blah." We thought it was
set up.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I told Katt, I said, "I know Steve, and I know you. Y'all are the ultimate P.T. Barnum ass Negroes, you know, y'all, this is what y'all do. Y'all do the promotional thing. You know, you wave the flag and go, this is what we doing. However we gonna do it, we gonna sell these tickets.
Right.
So we start joking and making jokes. You know how we did on the Foxhole. Everybody was wilding. Yeah, it was wilding, and we were talking trash and talking about how short Katt was and how, you know, this and that.
Normal stuff.
Normal shit. And especially for the Foxhole. Well, Katt was offended. And part of the offense he took out on Steve Harvey on the show. Because I guess he had heard the Foxhole and was like, let me show you what I do. And he railed against Steve Harvey for like the first 30 minutes of his show was all about Steve ain't shit.
Wow.
And so,
well, Katt will flip the script like that out of nowhere. Trust me.
And it happened. and when I saw Katt years later, I was like, yo, man, listen, I don't have no beef with you. Yeah, I mean, I think you're a talented dude. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'll say it flat out on the radio. Katt is one of the most talented dudes I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
And I will say this, his acting is only going to, when he finally gets to, when you see what, the Alligator Man was just a small piece. Katt is a brilliant actor because he's dark. And I'm going to tell you that, and what I mean by that is he's able to flip that script in a scene where you go, I don't know whether he's crazy or serious, or I'm afraid he's really got that switch. And the switch is the switch that Halle Berry had in Boomerang, where she was playing this ditzy, and then when Marcus came home late, she was like, nigga, love should have brought your punk ass home, and you were scared for a minute. You were like, oh, what the hell?
Slapped the hell.
Halle Berry was scary. That's that switch, man.
That was from real life. She crazy like Katt. That's what it is.
Pesci, De Niro all have that switch where they can be comical and then be dark. Katt has that ability, and I'm saying his acting is incredible.
Yes,
and so that in itself is a talent, but it's also the thing that sometimes darkness is sometimes the thing that makes you sometimes go. It's like that's the genius, that's the crazy that comes with genius.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
But why
I
you
feel
think-
what you're
why
saying.
you think
But
we-
Katt's still totally crazy. And then when he went in on Tiffany, it was unnecessary because Tiffany has been in the game a long time. I don't care if he doesn't appreciate her stand up.
Right.
I don't care about that.
True.
Tiffany is a brilliant comedic actress, and he like discredited all
of
that Tiffany has done, and he shouldn't have done that. He knows she's brilliant. She's a brilliant comedic actress. Brilliant. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Tiffany
great
gets
comedian.
down in movies, and I've done movies, I've done stand up, I've done television shows. I was on 2 television shows, recurring and series regular at the same time on 4 different shows. So I know what the work ethic is. Tiffany puts serious
Absolutely.
work in her
Absolutely.
grind.
Listen,
But the thing of it is, with those kind of things, to me, they opinions.
Okay.
And I just think they're people's opinions.
Right.
And I don't think that we should get all up in arms because one feels a certain way about another.
Right.
We just can't get up in arms about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A person can feel anything they want to feel. Not to necessarily say the way they feel is right or whatever. It doesn't have, that don't matter though.
Right.
It's their opinion and they can speak on things from the way they want to speak on them. And we get up in arms and get mad at people's opinion these days, and I don't really get that.
And we gotta and you gotta remember, like I said, Tiffany, we had her on The Real Husbands of Hollywood.
Killed it when she
killed
kissed
it. She
Boris
killed
Cole.
it. She killed
She
it.
does. She. But I don't think he
Playing
was
Kevin's
talking.
wife.
He took it in from the context of stand up though.
Right,
I don't
right.
think he was talking about the acting side of it. But he took it
But
from
that's a part
the
of it,
stand up
though.
side of it. No, they 2 different things.
They're 2 different
But
things.
they 2 different entities.
But her fame came through acting. It didn't come through stand up.
Right, but that's exactly.
And
but
that's
he
what
was
Katt
just
was saying.
Yeah, but he was talking about the stand-up aspect of it.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. We know she a great comedic actress and all that. He was talking about the stand-up side of it. My thing is,
Couldn't he have lifted her up first and said she's a great comedic actress? Couldn't he have lifted her up first? And then
Absolutely, he could have.
And then here's the problem I had with the whole thing too. The idea that somehow if you know, that you have to have had a special, you had to have been, you have to be selling out arenas to be a great comic, and I don't think that's fair. That's not a fair assessment.
That's a poor assessment.
That's a poor assessment.
Because
and
there's
poor,
some very funny comics that can only work at a bar, but the motherfucker's hilarious.
Destroys.
And there are some people that have not had the same opportunities to advance their careers. But doesn't mean they aren't funny. Doesn't mean they aren't talented. Doesn't mean they won't become great stand-up. I mean, look at Bonnie Raitt, who's a musician. I don't think she had her first album or something until she was almost 45. Samuel L. Jackson didn't get in a movie until he was almost 45.
Yeah,
Get what I'm saying? Now, that didn't mean he wasn't putting in work and acting, because he's almost, 60 or 70 now?
Yeah.
So you really think about it, he's only really been acknowledged for his work for like maybe 25 years when he's probably put in 60 years worth of work.
Yeah. No,
so-
actually, not Sam Jackson.
Well, Samuel Jackson, yeah, man, he didn't get his first.
No, he did. He got a break in his 40s.
Yeah.
But
He looked like he was closer to 50 for real.
Nah,
But
I
he
mean,
didn't
he
get his
was-
first. He got his first acting role in his late 40s.
Yeah.
But he had been around since
Forever.
Forever. I mean, he was acting at Morehouse when
Yeah.
he was in his 20s.
yeah.
Answer this for me though. Why we got to beef about this stuff anyway? That's my point anyway. Because I respect everybody. I love everybody.
Right.
And I'm happy for their successes.
Me too.
You know, I'm happy for their successes. But why it seem like we get in a place all the time where, like Kevin made a good point on the Breakfast Club when he said, what do we want? You know,
Right.
we say black people not getting opportunities. Now black people getting opportunities, and now it's being torn down. Why do we get in this place? Is it lack of opportunity that we get in this place? Or is it that we have this thing where we don't think certain people are deserving of this success? Why do we keep coming to this place, and why can't we just be happy and say, okay, that's one more vote for us?
I think there are two issues. One,
What is it?
I think one is that, like Kevin said, when you've been given a platform and you've sort of squandered away your opportunity to stay on that platform, you get angry and you get upset and you get, and then there's always somebody coming behind you. This is the nature of the entertainment business.
That's true.
There's always somebody coming behind you. There's another Kevin Hart in a club right now about to do it. Did you think Eddie Murphy was going to be the last person to be funny and have
Be
success?
huge, yeah.
Was Richard Pryor? Did he think Eddie Murphy wasn't coming? So what I'm saying is there are people. There's always somebody on your tail, and there's always somebody trying to get what you got. And so you got to be prepared for that.
I say that in the masses though. When I say
Right.
make that comment, buddy, it's
Right.
not even. I'm saying it in the masses. You can just talk to comics who have not had that level of success. We all successful. We still here living off of this
Right.
comedy. You're a success, but I'm saying I had that level of success. It run deeper than just the people that are our big stars and the people that everybody knows. Why does this exist in us? Like,
Because I think it's because and my girl Miss Marlowe was about to say the same thing. It's because we're under this misguided thing that it's not enough out there for everybody.
okay.
It's not enough.
Okay.
If he gets it, then that means
They won't like me.
And we've got to get out of that mentality that there isn't room for everyone.
Yeah.
If I find my niche, I find my thing, I can make it. I can make it too. I can be in the game too.
Okay.
And listen, everybody, listen. Of course, everybody ain't gonna be Steve Harvey.
No, you just
Everybody ain't gonna be Eddie Murphy.
But let me say
there's
that.
room for you in the game.
Absolutely.
The
Go ahead,
industry,
Evan.
what the industry will do, a lot of times people don't know this. When you get a deal, they will literally tell you, you don't need those guys. So whoever came up with you on the East Coast, Dominique, like the homies that we don't know. Like you say, okay, I want them to come work with me.
Right.
Okay. They tell you, you don't need those guys. Those guys are going to pull you down. They are not going to be of help. They're going to drain you. And they encourage you to separate yourself. Big ups to all of those who didn't separate themselves from their true people who had their back from the very, very beginning. And that is Kevin Hart. Kevin didn't separate himself.
No,
he
he
took
didn't.
all his folks with him. He's
Yes, he
still
did.
cool with all of us.
Yes, he did.
We can chop it up with Kev at any time if we see him or can catch him. Kev is willing to talk to all of us. He didn't separate himself. I came up under Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac, my family took care of. I helped to take care of Bernie Mac way before anybody knew who he was. Way before that. Me and Bernie was, whichever one make it first, that's the one pull the other one up. Bernie got famous. He didn't talk to any of us. In addition to that, he said on the Bernie Mac show, I don't want any Chicago comedians on my show. Do you feel what I'm saying? So I said, what is
Wow.
this about in the industry? And I'm talking about me and Bernie was like this. I can show you 1,000 things. My mom treated Bernie like he was her son.
Wow.
Bernie stopped talking to all of us. This is just real. No disrespect to him. May he rest in peace. I love him. I know he loved me, but he cut all of us off when he got famous. Shouts out to Katt even. Katt created careers. Leslie's famous because of Katt. Okay.
She says different.
Well, she's lying. I know Leslie's famous because of Katt. Lunel is on because of Katt. Red is on because of Katt. Katt put them on. Melanie is doing a lot better because of the Katt Williams tour. Not just Martin Lawrence and Maxwell. Katt is the one that helped to take Melanie to a certain level. But a lot of times we cut out our friends. I believe that Vibe, the show Vibe, remember Vibe? It would have been a success with Chris had he been able to get you guys to write for him.
Well, listen,
and they wouldn't allow it. They told Chris, you can't have them.
I was on
Vibe. Need our team.
I was on Vibe, and I'm going to tell you, I know the story. I can tell you, Chris, and that's one of the things.
He had writers that didn't know him.
Of course. But I was one of the... Listen,
What's the root of it, though, buddy?
The root is this. Here's the thing. You got to understand about. I got to straighten this one out. Okay. Chris is my boy. Chris
yeah, absolutely. That's our homie.
Chris is my homie, and Chris has put me down on everything he's ever done.
No doubt.
Everything. And so it wasn't that Chris couldn't put anybody down on the show. This is the thing that happens in Hollywood. When you get your shot. There's always a showrunner, a producer, there's somebody that comes in and has total autonomy over the show. It's a fact. It's just, and until Black people have autonomy over the show, vis-a-vis Kenya Barris or some Lena Waithe. Right now, you are giving autonomy to usually a white person that's been in the business that is being given autonomy over the show. They're going to hire their friends, just like you hire your friends.
Absolutely.
You're going to hire your friends because you're trying to stay in the game and say, listen, I was successful with this group of people.
Right.
And so I'm bringing these people. I don't care who you like. I'm bringing my people.
You have to be strong.
You have to be strong. You have to, not only do you have to be strong, you have to be in a position of authority and power to do that. Most African-American people are not even EPs on their own shows. Some of them are EPs, and I mean EP meaning not an EP in title. I'm talking about an EP in power.
And so one of the roots of the issue is that we're not in charge.
We're not in charge.
Well, so it's a trickle-down effect in every kind of way, which leads back to why we beef. Why we had
and we beef because you're not. It's not that a lot of times people don't want to bring you. Like, let me give you a prime example. Okay. It's not that Jamie Foxx uses some of the same people all the time when Johnny Mac
Speedy.
and Speedy and those people he goes to bat for them.
Right.
Listen, if Jamie got another show, just like if he got a show, Jamie was the executive producer on White Famous. He couldn't keep me and Chris, and we created the show on the show.
He didn't have the power.
He didn't have the authority because the Showtime and Lionsgate gave the autonomy to the white guy who ran the show. And guess what he said? I don't need the two people that created the show. I'm going to do it myself.
And
now Jamie could have went in and gone, fuck that. Chris and Buddy got to be on the goddamn show or ain't going to be no show. You can pull that shit if you want.
They'll send your black ass home.
But the reality is what he thought was, hey, listen, I'm going to see if I can work my Jamie Foxx magic and see if I can get this shit straightened out once the show is going. And guess what the network said? Fuck that, Jamie. How many shows you've run?
Yeah, see, so it's pretty much a catch-22.
It's a catch-22. And so the reality is a lot of times we think that because when black people get a show, they're the star of the show.
Like Lil Rel now.
Like Lil Rel has no authority to hire and fire writers.
No.
We'll have none. Now he might now in 2 years, like Martin did when he was on when he was Martin
show.
Martin said, fuck all y'all. Like Damon did 2 years later when he was an executive producer on the Wayans. Fuck all y'all. I want my people, and he hired almost all his family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way
Martin does that.
Martin did that. Then you have to do that because that's the only way
So you
that you
saying
can
get
come up
in
in the
first.
system. You got to come.
You gotta go
establish
through,
first.
You gotta go through the chain of
You
command.
got to go through the chain of command and
That's
get your
the only
titles.
way.
You got to get your bumps. You got to get your titles. You got to
Absolutely.
get your lumps. You got to take your lumps and go, hey, I got to take my lumps at script editor, at script producer, at co-EP, at producer. And you got to walk that. You got to walk that. You got to walk
it
that
down.
walk.
You gotta walk it down.
You got to walk that walk. Like, I'm still trying to walk that walk. I don't have any authority to hire nobody on the show right now. If I got on the show as an EP, even if I created the show, if I got on, the best I could do is make suggestions.
So then what
He
is
a great writer though, and I got a great idea, and I'm gonna link up with this brother.
do.
Okay, we gotta wrap up. We way over time. Evan, you said you had
it's
one more.
gone?
It's gone. Our time
Right.
gone.
We
It's all
done.
done.
Yeah, it's
we had a
over.
great conversation.
It's over.
But we can't.
But what
I
is
wish
the
we could
bottom
stay
line,
on.
though? What's
with
the
the bottom
bottom
line?
line?
Betty just gave it to you.
The bottom line
we gotta
is
get in the power positions
power
where we
and-
can
and-
make these.
How do we
calls.
do
Hollywood
that?
is a business. You
Right.
gotta understand. They just making business decisions, and the business decision is I want the best people to write the best or be the best, so that the show will stay on. And the only way you get the best, and this is the sad catch-22, is that a lot of the people that can bring the best out of a black star, like Evan said, aren't on the show with the people.
On
Right.
the show with the people.
They're not there.
They're not getting
Lil
selected.
Rel, I can guarantee you, Lil Rel don't have no friends on that. He probably
Writing
don't have
in the writers' room.
He probably don't have no friends in that writers' room.
Yeah.
Well, I know
That started with him in Chicago.
They complaining in Chicago.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
but,
it's sad.
But it's sad. But that's just the root of it.
That's
We're
just
gonna
the
bring
root.
them back so we can finish this. Y'all give them your social because we had a great conversation. Y'all give them your
right.
social media handles. What's coming up for you so they can find you. And like I said, everybody on this show, when they coming to your town, you go check them out because just like they sat here and brought it, they damn sure enough gonna bring it on the stage.
All day, every day, y'all. Evan Lionel, we talk about what's real. You know that. Straight from the south side of Chicago. Hit me on Facebook, Evan Lionel. I have a petition against corrupt attorneys working in family court. Sign it. It's against Lee Datsker, one of the corrupt attorneys. It's on chains.org. Evan Lionel, Barack Obama to disbar corrupt attorneys. And it's to help me to see my 3 beautiful children. If you are listening, if you can tune in any way, you are not fatherless. Your father is right here waiting and fighting to see you. I love you. As far as gigs, I'm all over the country. Check my Facebook out. This Friday, I'll be out in Lancaster. All my AV folks, I'll be with the Game's mom, Lynette, AJ Johnson, and Eric Blake. We're doing a big concert out there, so tune in, y'all. We'll see
I
y'all
gotta get
soon.
on your show too.
Me too. Buddy Lewis Jokes on Instagram and Twitter. Please check me out. I got a couple of projects coming up, and please check me out. I think I'll be in Sacramento on October the 20th sometime, and I have a gig at Benedict College coming up. Cheryl Underwood hooked the brother up.
What?
All right.
Yeah. So
Check me out next week on The Funniest Here with Dominique and Friends. We'll have 2 more funny guests. Dominique, Die, Comedi, on Instagram. Next week on Thursday, check me out. I'm going to be sitting in for my good friend Kim Whitley. Buddy, good friend Kim
yeah, I write
Whitley.
for her too. I write for her.
Yes, I'm going to be sitting in for
Yeah.
Kim on the Tom Joyner Morning Show. Yeah.
girl, that's great.
I love myself some Kim and
Yeah.
some Sherry now.
Yeah.
So y'all check that out. Tune in. And like we said, we had a great conversation. We appreciate you watching and listening. And we'll talk to you next week. And we're out.
Thanks, Dominique.
Thank you guys.
Dominique.